are back. For those whose first time it is here with us, welcome to A Lady and a Savage podcast. And for those who are joining us for the second, third, or fourth episode, welcome back.
Four. Don't lose count. It's too early to lose count. Come on now, Tasha. But as you
Welcome
can see,
back.
we virtual again. Um, due to Michigan weather, everybody know how that shit is. It sucks, and unfortunately, we still got to do what we do. But we are here today.
Yes, today they hit us with a ice storm. Okay, a ice storm. So we are doing this thing virtually because we are committed to bringing y'all some entertainment. So if anybody else is stuck in the house, rock with us. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Star Power Clothing and Company.
Hey,
Yeah, look at that. That is a dope design. So, Star Power Clothing and Company, they have hoodies, they have beanies, they have masks, and they have kids wear. So please check out their website, starpowerclothing.com. And also they have like this members only club. So if you sign up for the members only club, you get all kind of cool perks like some discounts or
new
early
releases, yeah, for early release information, stuff like that.
boom. Exactly. So get into that and also follow their Instagram. It is on the screen for you to check out at Star Power Clothing. And thank you, Star Power, for sponsoring our episode, The
Big
Self
up, big
Word.
up.
So yes. What else we got going on?
Well, we can actually get right into it. I mean, it's just me and you today. We had to reschedule the guests that we planned to have.
Yes.
So, I mean, we might as well get right to what's going on in the streets.
All right.
I mean, we could start with, it still is Black History Month. So, you probably want to kick it off with Black History Month.
Definitely want to kick it off with some Black History Month spotlight. So this Black History Month spotlight is for a local company. It is a black woman owned ice skating club or figure skating club. It is called Dream Detroit Skate. And the founders, I forget her first name. Let me just check out the article. But the founder actually started it because she's been doing ice skating since she was a little girl, and she was attending a skating rink in Berkeley when she was growing up. And she said she was only one other there was only one other person of color when she was taking her classes. So it's just something that's
Oh,
been dear to her heart. So she started her own black figure skating company. They operate right out of the Adams Butzel Recreation Center in Detroit. And their website is dreamdetroitskate.com.
that's dope. That's dope. A little Black Girl Magic and Black History Month. Put us all in there.
Sprinkle
I
it.
see you.
That's
I
right.
see you. I see you.
Her name
Me
is
and them.
Angela Blocker Lloyd. Angela
And where you
Blocker.
say it's located at?
It's located right in the city of Detroit. You know, Detroit has all of those recreation centers scattered throughout the city. So she operates her figure skating club out of
Oh,
Butzel
okay.
Recreation Center. Yes. So
Yeah.
check out the website. If you've got some kids, get your kids up on figure skating. See, one of the things too that we got to remember to get a leg up on those sports that we are underrepresented in. And figure skating is one of them. And for boys, hockey. So ice skating, it is cool to get on them skates, learn something new because we are underrepresented in hockey and we are underrepresented in figure skating.
We underrepresented in everything.
But
We're not gonna be on the ice like that. So I mean, keep promoting that shit. For who want to be on the ice can get on the ice. But it
yes.
definitely sounds like where that academy is. It's in the streets. So it kind of leads you into what's really been going on outside of Power to the People.
Oh, yeah. So taking it there, when we talk about being underrepresented and just always feeling like a target. So the Farmington Public Schools had a little issue last week where they had a substitute teacher use the term cotton picking to address
Oh
a
hell
student.
no!
Yeah, she said, "Get your cotton picking hands off of me," which we all know that cotton picking is directly
Very very racial.
related to slavery. Okay, so this 16-year-old boy was appalled, as he should have been, and he stopped right in the middle of a class and headed up a protest.
It's
It,
sad.
and it
That's
was a lot.
sad. That's
Yeah.
definitely sad that we live in a times where our children, well, my son, who's actually one of my kids actually out of high school, could have experienced that, especially in how far we think we have come, which we really ain't came far at all. We dealing with the same shit, just different faces, different organizations is running the same type of circles around us because of how far behind we are due to slavery, and it is really just sad that we have to deal with a lot of that bullshit because it frustrates me as a father, especially as a black man as well, to even know that your child had to hear something like that, where they had to go home and have that conversation with their parent to really even fully understand what that meant. Because they only know it on a term or the words of what people are just saying, but they don't really know the impact of what that shit actually does, even in that setting with the other kids. Like that's just really, it's devastating.
It's it's cool that you would mention that because that's actually what the young boy told the news reporter. He said, I told the teacher, this may seem like no big deal to you, but these words are going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
Even when I'm not thinking about it, it's just going to be in my subconscious mind. This is what you think of me and my people. We are cotton pickers to you.
Yeah,
So that was just deep. And I love the way, I think that I got to give credit to, sadly, we had to lose a life for this with George Floyd, but I have to give credit to the way everybody got involved with the protest of George Floyd.
absolutely.
People had their kids out there because now we've actually taught these high schoolers how to peacefully protest because they
Which they
immediately
did.
took their grievance straight to the superintendent's office, which is something to be really proud of. They didn't act a fool, they didn't go crazy, but they knew something was wrong and they took it straight to the superintendent, who also backed them and supported them in their protesting.
Yeah,
And then
always you have to.
it could have went the other way. I
Well,
mean,
they did it the right way. It was a peaceful
ex-
protest with them expressing their freedom of speech. And
that's
it
right.
definitely should be something that they do more often because I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised about shit. But who's to say that's the only teacher that's in there with those thoughts? That's the only teacher that's in there and is speaking to these children that way. It just so happened that this young boy decided to speak up or actually go and have a conversation with his parents and tell them about it. Because how many times does an adult say something inappropriately to a young child where they don't have that conversation with nobody else?
That's
And they
true.
just internalize that shit and then they're dealing with it. And now you see a behavior pattern changing when you really don't even know what's going on, what can all stem from a small comment a teacher made because they're not thinking about the type of influence that they have on the child.
Amen. Well, the spokesperson for the Farmington School District did make a statement. She said, racism, whether implied or direct, whether in words or actions, has no place in any of our schools. Our
Right?
schools need to be a safe place for everyone, and nobody should be made to feel the way these young men felt this morning. And that's from Diane Bowman of Farmington Schools.
Very well written, great PR work, but everybody got a job to play. Everybody got a little role. It just depends on how they said it when they said it. Do I believe that statement fully? Hell no. Because if that was the case, the child wouldn't be dealing with it. The fact that you have to write that kind of statement says that it still exists under the roof that you're supposed to be supervising. So keep that whole ass statement. Yeah, we don't care about no statements. We care about actions. People been talking shit a lot about what they're gonna do, but what are you doing? So we don't care about that. What else going on? It
All
get
right.
me upset.
Well, I think that this is a good time for you to share that story about those two boys
She trying to make me mad today, y'all.
that had
Definitely
that
trying to
fight
make
in the
me
mall.
mad. It was a video that I saw on Instagram where it was two look like teenage young boys, a young white boy and a young black boy was having a disagreement, and it looked like it was just confusion all around on even what the hell they were debating about. But the young white boy was actually the aggressor and in his face, and it ended up with them tussling, and two officers in the mall came up and separated them and set the white boy down on the actual bench and had the black boy put down on the ground, placed in handcuffs and everything, as the young white boy just sat there and watched as if he was entitled. It was a clear video of not only just privilege in itself, but the assumption that because the color of our skin, we had the ill intent involved in any type of situation. So for us, it's always guilty until proven innocent. And for them, it's innocent until proven guilty. And it's just that simple. And that video showed that, and it's sad that these was teenage kids that was experiencing something that has been embedded into this country for so fucking long.
Wow. And the proof right there.
Yeah, it was a clear video. I mean, it was on, I think it was on Media Takeout. It was on a whole bunch of them little gossip little channels, and people was reposting it on Instagram. I seen it a couple times on Facebook. I'm sure the shit is major viral at this point, but it's definitely clear that those two officers within the mall definitely did not ask any questions and just immediately assumed that that young black man was wrong in every way, that they had to
That is
place him in handcuffs. Like he wasn't a child too. They didn't sit him down like they said the young white boy down. They immediately threw him down to the ground, restrained him, and handcuffed him.
that is crazy. But you
Yeah.
know that takes it back to the story of the gosh, they don't like to be called the exonerated five, formerly known as the Central Park Five. Exact same thing, because they were literally kids
Yeah.
forced into jail, forced into admitting that they did something that they absolutely did not do, but under fear and not able to have their parents there with them, they were like pretty much bullied by the
Yep.
police into confessing to this heinous crime.
And they do
Horrible
that.
crime.
They definitely do that shit. That's why I am very thankful that I'm in a position to do as much as I can to protect mine. Like my son got caught up in some trouble. And even how they treated him, whether he was right or wrong, you know, he wasn't treated fairly. He was kicked in the face. Like that was some shit where you could clearly see there was a boot print in my son's face when I went and picked him up the next day. But it was, what about those children who get into those situations who don't have a parent to step in immediately, who can't afford to get the appropriate representation? It's like we just immediately set them up for failure, and it's just bullshit.
And he was in one of the most racist towns in Michigan at the time, wasn't he? When that happened, that was a racist town. As yeah, yeah,
KKK capital around here, definitely for sure.
yeah.
But these kids don't realize, you know, that one little small decision can alternate the path that you're supposed to be taking. And it doesn't mean that it's a permanent change in your path, because you can always get back on the right track. It's just a matter of fact that you have to deal with that, which is extending the period of time before you start to see the type of wins that you want to have in your life.
Wow. Well, thank God for the resources and the intellect to be able to, protect your son.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do anything for mine, shit. And you already know, we dressed in all black. We sitting in the bushes for a couple of days and we got to. So it is what it is. ain't gotta eat nothing, gotta drink nothing, ain't gotta do nothing. We going to work. We're going to work for ours for sure. Yeah.
Well, thankfully we haven't had to go to those measures,
Shit.
but yes, it's definitely warranted if we got to, and we'll
Yeah.
do it. So enough about that, because we don't want to be depressed and we don't want people to be angry. But it is necessary to highlight those stories. But what's your thoughts on the baby? So this little
Who?
dude, and I mean it,
You
this
said the
little
who?
the baby, the rapper.
Which one is the baby? A lot of them, a lot of these,
Uh,
they all got a baby in there. The baby, little baby. It's a lot of babies, a lot of grown
he's
ass
the
men
short
with baby
one.
names.
He's the short one with the baby by that girl, Danny Lee. He got into some trouble several months back at the Rolling Loud concert for saying some kind of tone deaf statement about HIV and
Oh,
AIDS
okay.
in the gay community that really got him into some hot water. And then most recently, a few months ago, Danny Lee went live and said that he was trying to put her out of his home
His
with
baby
their
mama.
baby. Yep.
You really can't never believe an argument between a baby daddy and a baby mama. Like there's two sides, and then it's the truth always with them. And 9 times out of 10, they both done put an extreme extent of lies or exaggerated perception into those conversations. Like that's always bullshit.
But they went live in the thick of the foolishness. Like she was
Yeah.
there at the house talking junk. Then he gets on the live. He's in the background. And he's putting her out. And she's saying that she had been there for months. And now she didn't have anywhere to go.
Why she don't have nowhere to go?
I didn't understand that part either. Because
Like, what do you mean you have nowhere to go? And then if you've been living with him for months, you ain't been putting no money up. You ain't got no little bag to the side where you got to go live and beg to stay somewhere you're not welcome. Like that shit a little pathetic.
He said she was his side chick and she knew she was his side chick. And then she commenced to go on the Instagram stories and post like all of these pictures and videos and footage of them and their time together to prove like, how could I be a side chick and we were spending all this time together?
Because you know what? That brings me to something that we had put a poll out earlier about relationships, the new age relationship bullshit. Like people communicating on social media or texting all the time, but not spending the time together. And the reality of it is a lot of these millennials and new age people who find different ways to get their rocks off, they can be with you every day and you not be the main one. The main one is that motherfucker that they messaging and that they sending pictures and they got this whole virtual relationship going. Like that shit is weird. And especially to know that over 80 people said yes and only a few people said no. Like people are okay with this shit.
Well, I mean, I don't like to talk on the phone, but I like to see my person.
So you FaceTime him?
Yeah, I will. I don't like to hold the phone.
No.
I feel very restricted on the phone. But
holding the phone, FaceTime, texting. No, you need a face-to-face. It got to be some physical touch in there. I ain't messaging you and doing all that shit virtually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I like to spend time with my person versus just, being on the phone all day.
But see, his main can be okay with him not seeing her like that. So this chick that he's spending all this time with, who thinking that she the main when she really is the side, that shit happens.
Well, I felt like she was the side. I felt like the baby had put out there that his other baby mama was the main, and everybody knew that girl Mimi as the main. So Danny Lee's brother, when all of this went down, he gets on social media, like anybody's big brother or little brother or whatever would do, defending his sister's honor, talking big
cash. Got on social media talking about shit.
Yeah, like he was gonna rough the baby up when he see him, and
that was a bitch move by itself right there. A grown ass man talking cash shit about another man on social media when you can just pick up the phone, you can pull up, y'all can arrange to meet up. So no.
Well, they met
up. Did they meet up or did somebody meet him?
I mean, somebody pulled up on her brother.
But when they at the bowling alley, like
at the bowling alley.
Why was I don't get that either. Like, what was he doing? Like, why y'all at the bowling alley?
I mean, he was having a night out.
At the bowling alley, though?
I like the bowling alley. What's wrong with going bowling?
Grown people go to the bowling alley and just kick it with a gang of people like that?
Everybody don't only go to brunch and drink all day like you, Chuck.
That ain't what I do. That's only on Sundays. I don't do that every day. I don't do that through the week. I work hard through the week. That's only on Sundays, and that's on Sunday fun days that we start early and we end late. That's it. It's not regular. That's just not a normal day at all. But that shit, going to the bowling alley, then you get jumped at a bowling alley because you talking cash shit about your sister baby daddy. Like, come on, bro. You look like a clown. They all look like clowns. You look stupid for jumping your baby mama brother.
So both of them stupid.
Yeah, like you jump your baby mama brother, bro. That's weak as hell. If you was gonna beat up your baby mama brother, then just beat his ass. The fuck is you jumping him for with your security? And then now you got to pay a check for that. That's dumb. That's
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. Okay, so what I think is even more dumb was Danny Lee's brother going back online after the fight or getting jumped to complain about getting jumped. Like, just be quiet, bro.
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. Don't nobody want to get jumped. I mean, I done been jumped before a couple times, but I never complained about it online. But we also didn't do all that online shit. We legitimately, when it was on site, it was never a warning about on site. On site used to be on fucking site where ain't nobody texting you or saying this. No, on site is, bro, when I see you, you already know what it is. Like when I saw all of them, I already.
I think social media has watered down a lot of street cred moments tremendously. Period. Like you said, nobody ever talked about things publicly. Like that was a no. Like to be talking. Like it used to even be a no to even be on the phone and be like, "Yeah, I'm in this red Buick." Like you would never give the whole make and model. Like the code is so, I don't know who really for the streets these days.
It's broken now. Nobody is.
Because
Everybody's a internet thug. Nobody is ain't no, like that's watching these dudes post stuff, be talking about they gangster and all. Bro, you taking pictures with guns. There's nothing gangster about that. You're posing. You're taking photos. You're doing a photo shoot, my guy. Like you could take it as you just posting on your page, but you're doing a whole photo shoot with a pistol, as if the police ain't been watching your internet information all day. They know where you at. They can triangulate to you. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Stupid asses.
So we got some info added on Facebook that says there was a celeb event happening at the bowling alley that her brother was invited to. So
what kind of celebrity event happens at a bowling alley?
They do a lot of like fundraisers and stuff at bowling alleys, and like celebs come and they might be, the center of the event, and then it's to attract business.
I'll pass on that check. I'm not going to no bowling alley to shake no fucking hands or take no pictures.
Listen, everything don't have to involve the strip club, a booty shaking. Some stuff can be wholesome.
Everything that you got, go-go dancers, you got belly dancers, you got what's them burlesque shows? They don't take all their clothes off. You got, just regular dancers. You gotta have a little entertainment in everything you do. Come on now. Not no bowling alley.
Hey people, I'm down for the bowling alley. Clearly Chuck is too good, but I'm here for the bowling alley.
But I do want to know what celebrity event was at that bowling alley to where he would be there and his baby mama brother. Like, ain't y'all on two different levels of life where y'all should be moving differently? That y'all would even run into each other?
One of them ain't a celebrity, if you ask me. The brother is just the brother. Because shoot, Danny Lee barely a celebrity.
I don't even know who that is, so
I can't even tell you the name of her single. I've heard her featured on other.
Oh, she got a track. Well, talking about tracks, how about did you catch the verses a couple days ago between Anthony Hamilton and Musiq Soulchild?
No, because I can't do Anthony Hamilton.
Why?
I know people be like, "Huh?"
Come on, he got hits, no?
I know, but I just don't like him. I just never could get, like, I don't really like his voice. I think it's like kind of nasally and whiny.
Oh, come on, Tosha. He got an old school soulful voice like Jaheim. And I know you remember Jaheim. Like, they just got that old school voice, reminds you of like the Dramatics, the Temptations, shit like that. Like, he got an old school tone.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar.
Well, it sounded like you didn't miss much, but Anthony actually killed it. He sounded really good. He sounded like he was straight off tour or actually currently on tour, but music sounded horrible. Bro was overdoing the runs. He had a crop top on with a shirt up under the crop top. He had like a 3-piece onesie outfit. I'm like, bro, this is all bad. and I actually like his music, but it was just not a good look. Nothing about his performance was a good look. That shit wasn't
What?
good at all.
Did he sing Love? Did he sing
Yeah,
Half Crazy?
he sung all his hits, but then he sung like maybe 4 songs that I've never heard of. It's probably over the last couple of years that he put that out, which I don't
And
listen
he
to
was
like
trickling
now.
on off.
Yeah. And
He
then
was
he had like,
falling
you
off
know,
the
they had a
stage.
little hype, you know, they hype men and shit. I don't think he picked the appropriate hype person for him to actually represent him. It was just he ain't do good. It don't sound like he been in doing no actual shows. It sounds like he been down since the pandemic. I mean, just compared to Anthony, the tone of Anthony's voice, how clear his was to his, man, that shit was crazy. It was a good show though. I mean, they both got some hits, but yeah, music, bro, wasn't that good. Bro, wasn't that good at all.
The only song by Anthony Hamilton that I I would have to say is probably So in Love. And he don't sing that alone. He sings that with Jill Scott. But like Charlene and like some of those other songs,
Nah,
I just
we ain't
can't
gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there because you know I'm a old school R&B and new school. I like R&B music. Period. I like
do. Me
smooth shit.
too.
I like live music. You know, jazz. So he go right with all that. So that's my man. I fuck with him. You
Go
know.
on here with that whiny old nasally Charlene.
Sometimes you gotta put that on. They be need to hear it when you gotta apologize for being out all night and shit. Said you was on your way, but it took you 5 hours to get home. You was 15 minutes at the street. We be needing that Anthony music. Fuck.
In the Facebook comments, we got Kenyatta Coleman said Anthony Hamilton's voice represents the struggle of all black folks.
Yes, and black men specifically. Yeah, the struggle of
His
our
non-connect,
hurt that y'all put us through, how bad y'all hurt us.
huh?
That's
Who did? Who hurt who?
that's what his voice exudes. It exudes the hurt in the black men. How the women do us. Y'all do us wrong. It's a
Do
fact.
I have to address? I'm gonna address that in 1 second. But for me, it's the fact that his beard doesn't connect. That's the struggle that I see.
Well, everybody struggle a little bit. Shit, you know how long it took me? I fade mine in. See, mine at the top. It don't actually connect fully at the top. I get my, I get when I get my taper, I get the top of my beard faded in. So they just got to know how to do their shit right. They ain't got the right barber. Shout out to my barber. My barber called. I can't really. I want to give his information out, but I don't need nobody fucking up my appointments. So you know, just know he called.
So, final answer, Anthony Hamilton killed that shit. Sounded amazing. Music sounded a hot mess. About like a lot of people say this next artist sound. I like this next artist music, but I might have to chill them. But they say Trey Songz is out here snatching ass.
Oh, he's the booty bandit.
Latest allegations, because this is not even the first time, sadly. But the latest allegations came out a couple days ago from a woman who is going by Jane Doe, who says that she has been involved in a consensual sexual
So
relationship
they've
with Trey
been getting it down already. She
Yep,
been busting it open. Okay.
since 2016. But she said that this one particular night, they were going to the hotel room and he kept commenting that he was going to have sex with her anally. And she was like, no. And she was serious because she didn't want anal sex. And that's when she says that he took her into the hotel room and got real aggressive with her and he took it.
So she said on their way into the room, he said, "You know, I'm about to get that ass,"
Pretty much, yep.
and she like, "No, you not." But then
Exactly.
they get into the room and he get that ass.
And he showed her that he was serious.
And how
Yes.
long ago was that?
I'll have to go back to the article and double check the date. But
He's still a booty. He ain't stealing no girl.
Mr. Still That
Hey, that's actually crazy because that's not something that you would actually think that anybody will say or bring up or mention. Because if they already getting it in, and that was something that she didn't want to do or something he wanted to do, you know, that's a messed up situation. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny because who sues somebody for for some shit like that? You just don't hear nothing like that. So I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing in the terms of her being the victim. You know, if he took it, that's sad. That's unfortunate. I mean, it's crazy as hell, but bro out here stealing booty. I mean, maybe he getting ready for jail. I don't know.
Do you think that celebrities be feeling entitled though? Because like it's just blowing my mind that like he could probably get any girl willingly to give up the buns, literally the booty hole, and you choose to forcefully take it from someone who said they didn't want it like that. So do you think that like there's some entitlement there where he's like, whatever, I know you ain't telling me no.
I think certain people is a power trip. Once you get so much power, or if you have a certain amount of yes people around you, and you become accustomed to getting your way and getting what you want, and people throwing themselves at you, I can see how he could put himself in those situations, or not even just him, any man in general, where if you get on that power trip, like the shit can go left. But you know when somebody doesn't want something. Like for me, don't nobody have to say no. You tensing up or you not feeling it, you not into it. I'm not even wasting my time. That shit not a turn on to me. So for me, you got to be kind of a heartless person where you really everything about it is just you just getting in. Everything about it was aggressive, but in certain cases, some people like to be handled aggressively. So that's a real touchy situation on how the hell you you stealing ass. Like that's just retarded.
Well, drugs and alcohol could play a part too. Like if he was intoxicated, maybe he didn't see the error of his ways. And I'm not making excuses.
Right, right, right.
He on my list because there's also another young lady who came out with her story and she opened with hers. She posted it on her social media page. I forget her name though. I'll have to go back and look, but she posted an official statement saying that he did sexually assault and rape her. She's working with her attorneys
So he
on.
has multiple allegations against him
Oh
for
yeah,
assaulting a woman.
oh yeah.
So I mean, I'm a firm believer if shit is consistently said about somebody, not everything that's being said will be true, but there is some truth in some of that shit. If multiple people is coming up and saying that's the same shit that we heard about Kel, same shit we heard about Bill Cosby. This is the same shit we hear about these people that we love, and you know we see the artistry and the work that they do, but we forget that these are just regular human beings who may have a fucked up past or life trauma or grew up in a dysfunctional family where we don't know what happened to them, but it doesn't take away that they still human beings. It's
But
horrible.
okay, but so how do you put emphasis or shed light on the responsibility that they have with their platforms though? Like, okay, because I hear you saying
They don't have
people are
none.
human, they gonna make mistakes. That's what I'm hearing you say.
I don't think because I gain a certain amount of followers or fans or gain a certain amount of attention that warrants me any type of responsibility to you motherfuckers that's watching me or that's supporting me. My obligation will be to be a human first, which means I'm always polite, I'm always respectful. If I'm out, I speak and talk to everybody. But to expect somebody to be a certain way, or like people complain about all the time, these celebrities ain't no fucking role models. Some of them drug addicts, some of them crackheads. And when I
Well, you
say
ain't gotta
drugs
be
and
perfect,
crackheads,
but do
two
you gotta
different
rate
things to
people?
me. Some of them be messed up. Maybe somebody been playing with his booty. Like who fucking knows? That he wanted to go steal one because somebody stole his.
But how do
We
you
don't
hold
know.
then how do you hold people accountable though? Because like even though your homeboy or your homegirl ain't famous, you will hold them accountable for something that they did wrong if they your friend. Like you don't want them out here being like
Yeah, but
just a
that's different. Accountability is different. Accountability is different because he may not have nobody around him who holds him accountable because they all are yes people. See, like you said, your immediate friend circle, if they not yes people, they are gonna hold you accountable. Like, okay, that was fucked up. But see, like me and my friends, ain't nobody violating nobody. That's violating someone's. Like you violating their body, you violating every right. That's taking something that is not yours. Like that shit is crazy. And that's a kind of accountability that if you know something like that is going on, that rolls into it is your responsibility to do something, say something, and that's why we in this fucked up world today, because a lot of times people know stuff and don't nobody say shit.
So you don't think that cancel culture is like the public's way of issuing accountability to celebs who may not be getting accountability from their inner circle?
No, because cancel culture only goes so far as sometimes in the US. That has nothing to do with all these other markets that's out here globally. Yeah, you can cancel a motherfucker in the US. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over to Paris and I'm gonna do it over there. I'm gonna go to South Africa. I'm a tour. You got all these other places that you could go where what is a cancel culture? That's just some shit that people think that is power in it because it's on social media. That is just as beyond of you reading it on social media. That does not change the amount of downloads, views, paychecks that person is getting. And it may remove some of their sponsorships, but at the end of the day, they still have way other avenues where they can still make means. That this cancel culture shit that's just something that's hot to talk about at that moment, but that eventually goes away.
So you feel like it don't have no stick?
Oh, because who have we canceled that's really been gone? Name somebody that we canceled that's still canceled. Because we some forgiving motherfuckers, we just don't forgive we don't forgive black people. But we forgive everybody else.
And that's not fair.
So who's canceled? But that's what I'm saying. So who have we really canceled?
I mean, I feel like R. Kelly's pretty canceled.
No, he not.
Just because he's not in your household.
People still play that shit. Like, I mean, what you want me to do?
On the radio station?
They don't have to play it on. They play it in other cities. I'm sure they still play that shit on the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you not? Like, at the end of the day, this man has wrote so many people. It's not about what mistake he made and how fucked up he is and the lives he ruined. We talking about just the music, just the artists. I'm talking about Kells, not the Pied Piper. Now, the Pied Piper is a motherfucker, but Kells, he put some good music out. Shit, I made
how can you
separate?
Kells is the Pied Piper.
So you want me to throw away the memory of that day that I made my son?
I do.
Because R. Kelly was playing that night.
No, I want you to remember the day you made your son and forget that it was R. Kelly that was playing that night.
I can't. It was a pivotal moment. It just was right.
And R. Kelly made that possible.
Yes, that TP2. The fuck? It did.
I had to catch myself. I almost caught myself. Hit it hard.
Because you can't get it out your head.
TP2 was my joint in college, junior year. Absolutely. In my first apartment. What? I used to play the heck out of that album. He had on a fur coat on the cover.
Mm-hmm. I used to pull up bumping it before they even get in the car. I'm already on my Kells. Not on that though. Not on his shit. The music. I see why.
R. Kelly, you blew it. Why you do that? Why? Because you.
Well, see, that's a whole nother conversation. I don't really want to get into R. Kelly like that because people get real upset about that shit, and everybody feel differently. I feel like I ain't gonna even say it. If y'all want to not listen to them, don't listen to them.
I don't.
That's okay. I still play them.
I know you do.
I'm definitely gonna still play them. But moving on from that, then we have a question or something that we were supposed to be going over.
Yeah, so now we got he say, she say, because this is the perfect battle of the sexes question and scenario, because when I saw this clip online, I clutched my pearls. I had to have a drink of water. I thought about all this money that I don't have and
what you got upset.
I was not okay. I hit you up immediately what is this? That. So I saw this clip online where Mary J. Blige is telling the backstory of one of her songs off the new album. I think it's called Rent Money or The Rent's Due or something like that. And she said that she was broke after the judge awarded her ex-husband alimony. So soon after the divorce, she was broke because he had already ran through all her money. And she had to come up with the alimony money. So she had to hurry up and go back on tour. Are we able to play that clip?
Rent money
Oh,
is
what she
about
said?
when I first got the divorce, I had to give up all his alimony, and I didn't have no more money to give because he had spent it all. so so I had to go and had to go on tour and make all the money back to pay the alimony, and I didn't have no money to pay my rent and all this other stuff. But it's also a metaphor. I didn't have my soul, like I was just drained of everything. So it was time for somebody to pay. Sometimes you just feel like somebody got to pay. And I was very angry then when I made that song. I was
How
very
could
angry.
you not be?
I was very angry, and I was like, rent money due, period.
Yes, queen.
She said rent money due, period.
She looks fly right there. Wow.
I love Mary though.
Shout out to Mary, y'all. Go cop her new album. She out here paying
I love Mary.
folks way.
But
But
do I agree?
yes, should men get alimony?
You want the what kind of answer you want?
I want Chuck's truth.
Yeah. Why would I not? If my no, because here's the thing. If I get accustomed to a certain way of living and you made more money than me, because vice versa, if I made more money than you and we got a divorce, I gotta pay you alimony because your bag is bigger. I mean, my bag is bigger. What's the problem that when yours is bigger that you don't pay me? Why am I not gonna collect what's due? Like it's just that simple. Like the shit is due. Whoever made the most money, we get a divorce because we didn't have to get a divorce. It's really a punishment for the divorce. Oh, I'm putting you to sleep. It really is because at the end of the day, when you get married for better and worse. So when you get a divorce, it's not supposed to be a smooth situation. Somebody is going to be salty. Both parties, 9 times out of 10, be real salty. And I've been in a situation where I've had to pay money that I didn't agree with. I had to do shit I didn't agree with. But did I get any sympathy? No, because at the end of the day, the world like to say, you a man. Yeah, me being a man don't have shit to do with me taking care of you past my household. When you leave my household, you got to take care of that shit yourself. Not me take care of my household and your household because you wanted to leave me. No, you should have stuck through that shit. We could have went to counseling. We could have did whatever. But if you decide to leave me and you want me to give you some money, fuck out of here. So I get why that would piss you off. But at the same time, it comes down to numbers. Shit. Whatever's higher.
Are you finished or are you done?
I'm done. Go ahead.
No. So I guess the thing for me is that I was raised that men are supposed to protect and provide. So if as a man, if your role is to be a provider, I feel like that should include yourself.
But
Provide
what
for
that have to
yourself.
do with alimony is
I'm
for
getting there.
support after you have separated from the union, not for support during the union.
Yeah. So what you got during the union as a result of me being a successful badass bitch was just what you got from being tied to me. But like I
So
don't
does that play the same thing for a woman with a man? So why is a woman entitled to alimony when it's the other way around, but a man is not?
because 9 times out of 10 there's probably kids involved, young kids that are still being raised and brought up.
No, they
Huh?
be grown because
Not all the time.
or they not grown, or they don't have no kids. You still have to give her some alimony. in the house.
But this man was cheating, and he was not with Mary shooting in the gym. Like, this isn't what he was accustomed to, because he got into her life when she first got discovered.
How long was they married?
From 2000, I think 2003 to 2018, I believe. Don't quote me on it.
So they was married about 15 years.
But it was over 10 years, yes.
So if number one, when it's over 10 years,
I don't want to hear it.
By law, over 10 years, even though they divorced, unless she get remarried, he's still entitled to whatever retirement plan she has. He's still entitled to, if something happened to her, he's still the beneficiary, unless she has a trust in place to assign it to somebody else, even with them being divorced.
So you mean to tell me legally you get to run off with the B word that you cheated on?
No, but that wasn't his choice. He didn't choose to run off. She divorced him.
Oh, so she should have stayed while he spent her money on the B word that he was cheating with.
See, you bringing up shit that don't have nothing to do with the question.
No, this guy.
The question is, should we get alimony? It does not matter if that man cheated or not. Cheating don't have nothing to do with alimony.
The things that go on surrounding the situation have something they should.
So wait a minute. So that means that, say if you're in a relationship, so if one of us cheated and we got a kid, that means you don't get no child support because you cheated.
What, and the kid isn't ours? The kid came from the cheating situation?
No, I'm saying, like, just period. Like, I'm with you. You cheat on me. You leave. You got the baby. Should you get child support?
Yeah, this is our kid together.
So why shouldn't I get alimony? Because this is my life. I still got to take care of me. Just like you act like you got to take care of the kid when you really taking care of yourself with my bread. Like, stop playing.
Sorry.
Like, we know this. Like, stop playing. If the money was for the baby like that, I done watched it. I done spent a lot of cash and had to pay child support. I done gave extra shit and had to pay child support. I done did, like, come on now. Like, with me, I want my alimony. Especially if you was getting that bread like that and you want to divorce me, give me my fucking check. Like, what's the problem? You better get out there and get on tour and get some more money if you can't pay it.
But you was cheating.
Then we should have worked it out. We could have worked through this.
How can you feel entitled to assets that you have access to? How could you feel entitled to assets that you have access to by way of marriage to me, whom you made these vows?
Well, that means that her being Mary, and I love Mary to death, she didn't make the wisest decisions with how she managed her finances. Because why did you give anybody full access to your cash flow? Whether you married, boyfriend, girlfriend, living together, whatever y'all is, you should have an account over here, an account over here. And if y'all want a joint account, you can have a joint account. But in a particular situation, he was her manager and her husband. So she should have had an account that was paying her, an account that was paying him, and whatever account they was going to use as the marriage fund. So they did bad money management altogether, because how did you allow him to spend all your money? Like, that's not his fault. He just charging it up. Just like a woman would be charging that shit up. That's the thing. You can't have a double standard. You can't say that we can pay y'all, but y'all can't pay us.
That's not a double standard when across the board many of us, I should say, are raised that the man is the provider. That's
but
why
that don't have nothing to do with you paying me when things go.
But that's why we have the expectation we have, is what I'm saying.
So what if I was to provide it?
It's not an entitlement thing. It's just men provide and protect.
But look, but that's the thing. So we got together. I provided. I held up my weight. I took care of you. Actually, I put you through school. You become a doctor through my hard work, and you not working. Me paying all the bills, me giving you everything that you want, me showing you a lifestyle that you're now able to give yourself. You get that, right? We now working towards your goals. I now help you get your own practice. Now I want to go back to school. I end up liking this little young thing because you got me up in these classes at night. And your ass working all day running this practice and shit. So now Me and Lil Mama, we playing. You find out you divorced me, but now I'm making a quarter of what you're making. You don't think I deserve no alimony? Because I made a mistake?
I don't, because I feel like little mama, since that's how you get down, should have her own bag too. Go from bag to bag. Don't try
But
to
we
take
not
my bag
boyfriend and
with
girlfriend. We married.
you.
You
Don't try
cannot
to
walk
take my
away
bag.
from a mistake. I'm not saying that it's okay to make a mistake, but I'm saying that worst case scenario, if a man makes that type of mistake, that shouldn't be a end all. That shouldn't be we separate because you committed adultery. Because there's other ways that you can break vows. There's other ways to disrespect the relationship, which I'm sure, come on, Auntie,
Okay.
I'm talking about Auntie Mary.
Let me mention this specifically then, because this is where I feel like he was super wrong. In being her manager, he developed the experience to manage musical acts. So part of it when they got the divorce was they had recently started a record label, and so the girl that he cheated with was one of their acts. She was on the label. So you're supposed to be using your skills as a manager to manage new acts. That's your way of making your own bag, getting your own money, and you end up sleeping with the talent.
Well,
And
sometimes
get alimony from me.
sometimes the best help is the help that's around. So we can't judge that situation, but we can talk about this again all night like we've done before in other situations. We pretty much are running up out of time. We're going to probably carry this conversation a little over because I see that Tasha's a little upset. But hopefully next week our guest can be in the studio with us to weigh in on this because I feel very, strong that I think it goes both ways. I don't think one should get something over the other.
One of our guests next week is an attorney. So I definitely want to hear what she has to say, because I think that there should at least be some kind of stipulations in place that make the alimony, that make you ineligible for the alimony. But
called a prenup, but we'll get on to the
So,
legal aspect
yes,
of that next week. We'll start talking legal stuff, how you can actually prepare yourself to not be in that situation, and what you can do to not having a rent Mary from a new album, but having the rent money and being able to still pay that alimony. But this is the end.
I'm not ready to go.
She ready to go. Her ass already in the bed. So she definitely ready to go.
Listen, okay, it was a rough day,
but we appreciate y'all joining us.
Yes,
especially while we in the house virtually. Please go on to YouTube and subscribe. On Facebook, Instagram, you can find us. Hopefully you're here next week and we continue this conversation and hear from you where you can actually call in because we're in the studio.
That's right. Thank y'all for tuning in and spending your Thursday evening with us once again. Have a blessed night.
Peace.